What's happening, fight fans? This week we've got a new series for you, Boxing Timeline, and we are starting in 2003, the year R. Kelly's ignition was unavoidable and crap. Finding Nemo melted hearts, and England finally lifted the Rugby World Cup. But for us fight fans, this was a year of masterclasses, upsets, and changing of the guard. So let's go month by month, weaving the punches with the pop culture that surrounded them. January was a quiet month, but on the 19th in Melbourne we got some action, as Kostya Tszyu, already the unified super lightweight champ, gave Jesse James Leha a painful 7-round farewell. Precision, patience and power, it was vintage Tszyu. Elsewhere, Dido's Life for Rent sat on top of the album charts. Chicago was sweeping the Golden Globes, and Brazil swore in President Lula, the first left-wing leader in over 40 years. February brought us one of the strangest knockouts in heavyweight history. Mike Tyson flattened Clifford Etienne in just 49 seconds, and Clifford casually took his gum shield out before hitting the deck. Strange ending, but Etienne was a strange bloke. In Mexico City, the tricolour was flying. Eric Morales, Jose Antonio Aguirre, and Jorge Arce all scoring stoppage wins in a triple world title night. Meanwhile, millions worldwide marched against the looming Iraq war, with London hosting the UK's biggest ever protest. March 1st, Las Vegas. Roy Jones Jr. does the unthinkable. Moves up, takes the WBA heavyweight title from John Ruiz, and he makes it look effortless. The pound-for-pound king is at his peak. 1 week later in Hanover, Corey Sanders detonated lightning-fast hands on Vladimir Klitschko, flattening the heir apparent in two. It was a huge shock, but not for those who knew that Sanders could punch holes through walls. By month's end, Bernard Hopkins had dismantled Murad Hakar. Azim Rahman had drawn with David Tua. Rahman just couldn't catch a break against the Kiwi. Sven Otka had outscored Byron Mitchell in a split decision over in Germany. Darius Michalczewski continued to look old as he stopped Derek Harmon in 9. And Corey Spinks outboxed Michele Pecorillo to win the IBF welterweight title after a controversial loss in their first fight. In the cinemas, the pianist was taking home Oscars, and in the real world, the US-led invasion of Iraq had begun. April gave us James Lights Out Tony rolling back the years, edging Vasily Zhirov in a bruising cruiserweight classic, sealed with a last round knockdown. 8 years after losing to Roy Jones Jr., Lights Out was back on top. Elsewhere, pound-for-pound entrant Marco Antonio Barrera stopped the faded Kevin Kelly in 4. Floyd Mayweather decision Victoriano Sosa. Marcus Bayer edged Derek Luca for the WBC super middleweight crown. And 2 of Britain's best were in action. Ricky Hatton, the Manchester hitman, stepped up in class and soundly outscored former IBF boss Vince Phillips over 12. While Howard Eastman, Britain's best middleweight, blasted out Scott Dan, demanding a world title shot. In the news, SARS prompted travel warnings, while Adam Sandler was filling cinemas with anger management. May 3rd, Las Vegas, Oscar De La Hoya stays busy, stopping Yuriboy Campos in 7. Morales, Arce and Calderon all keep their belts on the undercard. In a largely forgotten lightweight unification bout, Paul Spadafora, the IBF boss, fought a thrilling 12-round draw with WBA boss Leonard Doring. Meanwhile, Audley Harrison looked $1 million against Matthew Ellis. Shame it didn't last. The Matrix Reloaded was blowing minds in cinemas, and a series of suicide bombings rocked Casablanca. June was massive. Gatti and Ward closed their legendary trilogy, with Gatti winning another 12-round decision in a classic. Lennox Lewis and Vitaly Klitschko waged war in LA. Vitaly, ahead on the scores, was stopped on cuts, his face looking like a minced steak. Lennox retired soon after, and Vitaly became the man to beat. Over in Cardiff, Joe Calzaghe got off the floor to destroy Byron Mitchell, while Enzo Macronelli introduced himself with a thudding KO over Bruce Scott. The heavyweight aspirations of Michael Grant came to an end against Dominic Wynn. Sven Otka won a 12-round decision over David Starry in Germany, and the legendary Lucia Riker outscored female pioneer Jane Couch. David Beckham, meanwhile, was off to Real Madrid, and the Hulk was smashing up the cinemas. On July 12th, Ricardo Mayorga and Vernon Forrest traded bombs, the Nicaraguan edging it in a scrap that could have gone either way. That same night, Manny Pacquiao stopped Emmanuel Lucero in 3. The Pac-Man's rise was gathering speed. Scott Harrison, meanwhile, lost his WBO featherweight title to veteran Manuel Medina in an absolute shocker. Harrison was as flat as a pancake. Dr. David Kelly's death dominated UK headlines, while the Pirates of the Caribbean set sail on the big screen. In August, John Manuel Marquez stopped Marcus Lasona, and the veteran Mark Johnson turned back the clock to beat Fernando Montiel. Leila Ali was far too big and strong for Christy Martin, ending it in 4. While WBC super middleweight boss Marcus Bayer was extremely lucky to get past Danny Green on a 5th round disqualification. Britain sweated through its hottest day on record, while SWAT leads the box office. September, Shane Mosley controversially outpointed Oscar De La Hoya at 154. I had Oscar winning, but the judges didn't agree. Chris Baird retained the heavyweight title in one of the dullest fights ever against Preza Cuendo. And Danny Williams controversially stopped Michael Sprott after low blows softened him up. While the slick Damon Kelly met his match over in Colombia against IBF flyweight boss Irene Pacheco, who stopped him in 7. Sweden mourned foreign minster Anna Lind, and Sophie Capella's Lost in Translation was making waves. October, James Toney's fantastic year continues as he breaks down Evander Holyfield with body shots in 8. Silvio Branco, the Italian veteran, shocked Mehdi Sanoun in France. Michael Brody went to war with Indian Chief for the vacant WBC featherweight title, a contest that was scored a 12-round draw. And Michael Gomez stopped Alex Arthur in an Edinburgh thriller. The long dominant reign of Darius Michalczewski came to an end as he was outscored by Julio Gonzalez over 12 tough rounds. Kill Bill Volume 1 slashed its way into the cinemas, and Concorde made its final passenger flight. In November, Floyd Mayweather Jr. stopped Philip Ndoye with a masterclass. Roy Jones Jr. barely squeaked past Antonio Tarver. Most thought Tarver had done enough. And in San Antonio, Manny Pacquiao arrived as a global force, destroying Marco Antonio Barrera in 11. Scott Harrison regained his title by stopping Manuel Medina in their rematch. And of course, Johnny Wilkinson drop-kicked England to Rugby World Cup glory.
Johnny Wilkinson, he drops for World Cup glory! Yes! It's over! He's done it! Johnny Wilkinson is England's hero!
December 6th, Vitaly Klitschko flattened Kirk Johnson in 2 rounds at the MSG, staking his claim as the heavyweight to beat. Bernard Hopkins dismantled William Joppy. Corey Spinks outscored Ricardo Miyagi in a welterweight unification battle, and Zab Judice Jamie Rangel in 1. John Ruiz mauled his way to a 12-round victory over Hazim Rahman, who was frankly clueless. Vladimir Klitschko meanwhile began the long rebuilding process, stopping Daniel Nicholson in 4 rounds. While over in Nuremberg, Germany, Robin Reed was absolutely robbed against Sven Ottker. Reed was fighting 5 men on this night: Ottker, the referee, and the 3 judges. The return of the king ruled at the cinemas, and Saddam Hussein was found hiding in a hole. A year of wars in the ring and out was over. 2003 gave us legends at their peak, future icons announcing themselves, and a few scorecards that had many of us shaking our heads. Next time on Fight Fans Boxing Timeline, we jump to another year, another story, and until then, keep your guards up and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. See you later, Fight Fans.